Coming up on the county line, after months of negotiation, the Borough of New Wilmington finally sells their cable system.
And the Borough Police Force is armed with a shocking new way to apprehend their criminals.
And yesterday was the biggest day of the year for college-bound high school football players. One local standout athlete keeps his school colors, but becomes a Panther.
We're live.
We're local.
The county line starts now. The Borough of Wilmington sells their cable system to Armstrong Cable for $2.5 million. Good evening, I'm Chris Norris.
And I'm Danielle Adams. Thanks for joining us tonight on our first edition of the 2008 County Line. For the past several months, the Borough of Wilmington has considered selling their cable system. 3 candidates made bids on the system, including Comcast, PC1, and Armstrong. On Monday night at the council meeting, the borough agreed to terms with Armstrong Cable to sell for $2.5 million. Reporter Alex Hines takes a look at what the sale of the cable system means to the borough.
The New Wilmington Borough has been unique among towns in Lawrence County, operating their own cable system, providing cable TV and internet for the borough residents. However, at this week's Borough Council meeting, that all changed. Council voted 5-1 to sell the town's system to Armstrong Cable for $2.5 million. Joe Taylor, general manager of Armstrong Cable, told the county line about some of the changes coming to the system.
One of the things I think we can bring to the borough is we carry about 20 HD channels. I know there's been some requests for that. We also offer a wide variety of content on VOD, video on demand, which is another service that we've heard, at least from surrounding communities, of great interest in. We offer a wide variety of high-speed internet products, a little different than what's available here in the borough today.
The sale of the cable system was brought about by a combination of factors. Borough Councilman Bill Johnson, who was on the committee that awarded the contract to Armstrong, spoke about some of these factors.
The Borough Council started studying this back in almost a year ago now, based on pretty good evidence that the Federal Communication Commission is likely to deregulate cable television, which would allow other companies into the borough.
Now that the Borough Council has come to a decision, the borough and Armstrong will negotiate details of the deal, and the new cable system should be up and running in 4 to 6 months. In New Wilmington, I'm Alex Hines for the County Line.
Armstrong Cable is looking forward to working with us right here on the Westminster Cable Network.
Imagine 50 volts of electricity running through your body. All New Wilmington police officers have felt the shock of a taser. Officers are now armed with a defensive weapon. In order to be certified, every officer had to attend training sessions in which they endured the 50-volt charge. Police Chief Carmen Piccirillo asked the Borough Council 2 years ago if the officers could carry the tasers while on duty. Piccirillo says they will provide officers with a safer way to apprehend attackers.
Anywhere from 4 to 10 to 12 hours over the weekend on my own time just to try to keep up. So our Borough Council has recognized that, and they say, you need some help.
Along with this new device, the police department will experience another change in the near future. The borough is planning to hire another full-time police officer. Currently, the department employs 4 full-time officers, including the police chief and 1 part-time officer. Police Chief Carmen Piccirillo says he normally works 12 hours for what should be an 8-hour day, in addition to the weekends. The borough is currently accepting applications for the new position.
The Westminster College Task Force is working to make the campus smoke-free by the year 2010. Ashtrays have been removed from the most high-traffic areas. County Line's Laurel Sprague caught up with students on campus to get their reactions on the proposed ban.
For many years, Westminster College has been allowing its students to smoke on campus, but starting in the year 2010, Westminster students will not be allowed to smoke anywhere near Westminster grounds. Some students are extremely ecstatic about this. Other students have plenty to say on the matter. Here's what one student had to say.
As a tuition-paying student at a college, I feel it is a certain right of mine to be able to smoke somewhere on campus, away from major groups of people, possibly in designated areas, but a place that's convenient. Many people smoke in America, and I think they should just have some accommodations made for this area. And furthermore, going so far as by 2010 to actually outlaw smoking completely is a bit, well, I'll be honest with you, it's an attempt by administration to further control students.
Even though the new Westminster smoking policy makes it inconvenient for smokers, for those who don't prefer to have smoke rising up from the benches up into the dorm rooms, it's a welcome new policy.
Okay, well, I personally think it's a really good idea to make the campus smoke-free. There are a lot of reasons, just because as a non-smoker, when I'm walking into the dorm room, I get bombarded with a cloud of smoke every single time I walk into the room, which I don't really enjoy. Also, the amount of secondhand smoke that I also get just from walking in and out. My room also smells like smoke, which I know they don't mean to, but just because they smoke so close to the door, when the door opens, the smoke wafts into the lobby and into my room. I don't like that very much either. People also who don't smoke before college are more likely to smoke if they see a whole bunch of people smoking. So I think that will help people not to pick up the habit in college.
Despite varying opinions from Westminster students, college administration still hopes the transition to a smoke-free campus will go smoothly. I'm Laurel Sprague reporting for the County Line.
Coming up on the County Line, reporter Pamela Marlowe dives into the sewer issue in Neshannock Township.
And Amanda Conway is politically correct by bringing us complete coverage of Super Tuesday.
And Dave Gregg has all of your sports covered in this week's edition of Titantown Sports. Stay tuned.
What are you doing out here?
Straightening my hair.
But why are you doing it next to your car?
Oh, I just like to listen to the radio when I get ready in the morning, and this is the only one I have.
You know you can listen to Titan Radio online, don't you?
Are you kidding me?
Titan Radio plays the hits you want. The best music from the 80s to today. Also on TitanRadio.net.
Come on, boy. Come on. What do you got there, Yogi? Huh? What have you found? What do you got, little fella? Drop it. Looks like someone's butt. Man, they probably lost it playing with their kids. Hey, leave it. Come on. Come on.
What's that? Check it out, Dave. What do you got there, Dave?
Looks like someone's thunder thighs.
They must have lost them playing in the snow with their kids. Let's get back to work.
Neshannock Township is a year away from completing a $12 million sewer program that will meet the township's needs for 20 years. Reporter Pamela Marlowe gives us the details about the plans for the new sewer line.
A decision now brews within a State Department concerning the economic growth of several townships in Lawrence County, as both Newcastle and Neshannock Township have submitted corrective action plans to offset sewer tap bans imposed by the DEP.
Everybody's affected countywide. That goes into the Newcastle Sanitation Authority. Neshannock is actually under a double restriction.
The sewage problem, originally discovered on this drive in Neshannock Township in 2005, is similar to the problems plaguing Union Township and even keeping their residents from their coffee. Sewer tap bans currently hinder Neshannock Township in building affordable housing and commercial office buildings, while Union Township is looking for at least an interim agreement from the DEP to begin construction on a Starbucks and ice cream parlor.
We have a good plan, and we
hope that it'll be steady, fast from the DEP. What we're hoping for is to be allowed so many taps right away, and then hopefully they'll keep giving us more and more as we keep correcting the problem.
Neshannock Township supervisors say they are confident their corrective action plan is well managed and fair to residents in the community in footing the sewage bill by setting the quarterly price lower than state recommended. So when the sewer ban is lifted, area residents may have a few extra dollars in their pockets for an ice cream or even a Starbucks coffee. I'm Pamela Marlowe for the County Line.
Former state lawmaker Frank LaGrotta will be under house arrest for the next 6 months after admitting to providing family members with thousands of dollars of state money. LaGrotta hired his sister and niece for state jobs that required little to no work. LaGrotta pleaded guilty to 2 felony charges of conflict of interest. LaGrotta's sister and niece received probation and fines of $3,000 along with the charges. LaGrotta must also perform 500 hours of community service.
Mardi Gras wasn't the only thing being celebrated this week. Amanda Conway is in the studio tonight to tell us more about Super Tuesday's presidential results. Amanda?
Thanks, Danielle. The presidential primary race is heating up, especially after this week's Super Tuesday election and, of course, the withdrawal of Governor Mitt Romney today. More than 20 states voted for the presidential hopefuls, and on Tuesday, I had a chance to talk to students and Dr. Jim Rhodes of the Political Science Department here at Westminster about their predictions for the race and how the Pennsylvania primary could still be important.
Dan McCarzak and Steve Raperto watched and discussed as the results came in.
Ron Paul could spoil a lot of that percentage out of the Republicans if he holds on.
Call him Ralph Nader, Ross Perot.
Yep. Then you got, I don't know who, Obama is in this new swing.
Which I was surprised because last week it didn't seem like he was.
No, he jumped 6% or something in the past 2 weeks. And might overtake her today, who knows?
Professor of Political Science Dr. Jim Rhodes spoke to me about what states he thought might be important.
California, that's the big one. On the Democratic side, that's the state to look for, but it's also going to be interesting to see how Hillary Clinton and Obama do in Massachusetts. Clinton's been way ahead there, but will the Kennedy endorsement help Obama there? On the Republican side, the states to look for, as I say, are Colorado, some of the states in the South. Are those states traditionally more conservative? Are they going to go with McCain?
SGA President Carson Nesbitt talked to me about the role that Pennsylvania would play in the primaries after Super Tuesday.
Pennsylvania would be probably pretty important for the Democratic Party. I can't imagine it being very important for Republicans because we'll probably have a nominee after tonight. And as much as I'd like to go all the way to convention, we probably won't. But Democrats may go all the way to convention, and so Pennsylvania, after some serious campaigning in this state, may actually have some pull towards convention.
The results from Tuesday are that Hillary Clinton is the Democratic frontrunner despite winning in less states than Barack Obama. The Republican frontrunner, as was expected, is McCain, who walked away with a total of 9 states. Now coming up this Saturday, Louisiana, Nebraska, and Washington will all vote, and Kansas will also have their Republican election. Reporting for the County Line, I'm Amanda Conway.
Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell unveiled the 2008-2009 state budget on Tuesday. The budget will increase by 4.2% to $28.3 million starting July 1st. As part of the projected budget, the prices of cigarettes will increase by 10 cents a pack. Rendell also authorized a $270 million increase for infrastructure work and repairs to the state's buildings, dams, railroads, and airports. In addition, working poor families will be eligible to receive one-time payments of $400,000 to $475,000 of aid.
Well, news happens often and it happens fast. And just in case you missed any of the headlines from this past week, reporter Jeremiah Patterson brings you up to the speed of news with this week's web stories.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah Patterson from inside the Titan Radio newsroom. Visit our website at titanradio.net for local news and a live web stream of our commercial-free music station, Titan Radio Digital 88.9 FM. Let's take a look at some of the stories we covered this week on our website. First, a local town is upset with its mayor after he used a racial slur. 76-year-old Elwood City Mayor Don Clyde used the N-word last year with then recently hired African-American Police Chief Richard McDonald. Clyde denied being a racist, saying the term was commonly used while he was growing up without good or bad connotations. Lawrence County Commissioners have demanded Clyde's resignation, but an investigation by the state's Human Relations Commission could lead to a hearing and possibly penalties for the borough. Also found on TitanRadio.net, details surrounding a Newcastle man given a death penalty. A Lawrence County jury decided on a death penalty this week for 36-year-old Dennis Reed, who was found guilty of first-degree murder, simple assault, and kidnapping. Reed says he doesn't remember killing his girlfriend, 28-year-old Wendy Miller, back in 2001. And finally, with all the election coverage this week, don't miss out on the action when it's Pennsylvania's turn. Visit TitanRadio.net for a link to register to vote online. Pennsylvania's primary is April 22nd. The last day to register is March 24th. Listen to Titan Radio weekdays with live jocks 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on digital 88.9 FM or streaming live at TitanRadio.net, your home for Titan men and women basketball games. I'm Jeremiah Patterson with your Titan Radio web update.
Recycling grocery bags is catching on.
Here's my favorite.
Let's reduce packaging by getting one big bottle, and it's recyclable.
Ooh, this box is heavy.
Oh, we'll get this small container of concentrate instead. It's recyclable, too.
Now that's smart shopping. Less packaging and more recyclables.
All we're asking is for you to recycle. Hey, baby, reduce and reuse.
Has your child overdrawn their account more than once? Does their credit card spending seem to be out of control? They may be ruining their credit and their future. If you know someone that needs to learn how to budget their expenses before they get out into the real world, come to the Consumer Credit Counseling Service. They're a nonprofit organization that offers free sessions to learn how to budget effectively and help you get out of debt. Consumer Credit Counseling Service, offering financial help in any crisis.
Come on! This way! Who is that guy?
I know!
Come on, get up!
407 years ago.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to loc.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at loc.gov.
Good evening. I'm David Gregg, back with you for another semester of Titantown Sports. For the last 3 years, we've become familiar with the name Chris Burns. The 5'10", 181-pound Wilmington running back may now become recognized on the national level, as Chris just signed his letter of intent to the University of Pittsburgh. In his time at Wilmington, Chris has marked up many different achievements, including his latest, Region 3 Player of the Year. Last year, Chris racked up 2,234 yards and 38 touchdowns. So from everyone here at Titantown Sports, we'd like to wish Chris the best of luck in his career at Pitt. Moving to Titan sports now, boys basketball team suffered a loss to the Presidents last night in overtime, 65-56. Craig Cannon had 7 points for the Titans, leaving him 15 points shy of breaking the all-time scoring record. I spoke to Coach Hondeko today and asked him how it has been to watch Craig evolve to the player he is now.
Craig's had a really good career, and I think the biggest thing is that you mentioned there is how he's grown. He's really, really came in as a shooter, but he's put on weight and turned into a heck of a good basketball player. And he's doing a lot of stuff, rebounding, assists, and he's just been a good kid to have around the program for 4 years, and I'm excited that he's going to break this record. He deserves it.
Now, the Lady Titans basketball team also suffered their 6th straight loss last night, falling to Washington and Jefferson, bringing their record to 11-9 on the year. But on to a positive note, Emily Ackerman was named the ESPN, the magazine, Academic All-District Team. Now with spring sports right around the corner, the track and field teams are getting geared up for another season. With a new addition to the team, however, for the first time ever, Westminster hired a full-time track coach. Coach Tim McNeil, Westminster alumni and member of the '94 National Championship football team, sat down with us and expressed his excitement about giving the position as well as what he hopes to bring to the team this season.
the track and cross-country coach here at Westminster, and I love the job. It's a great place to work, a lot of great people. I love working with the student athletes here. I don't even think of this as a job. It's just kind of like a way of life, and they're paying me for this, and I'm very happy to be here. And every day I love coming to work, so it's a great feeling.
You can do it. Okay? You can't do it, don't do it. When you sat down, you just walk back. We're just going to go in line. Okay? So just go. That's it. That's all we're doing for the box jump.
One thing that I think that I will bring, and I guess I sort of have an advantage over past coaches here, is that the school has made a great commitment to the track and field and cross-country program. They've hired me, and I'm the first ever full-time track cross-country coach. So always before it was, if someone was coaching another sport, they coached track and cross-country, or they were, Coach Lilly was a full-time professor coaching cross-country. So I get to dedicate 100% of my time to those programs. And so that's something that's never happened before in the history of Westminster. So I'm really excited about that. And that's the one thing I've talked about and with our athletes this year is I want everybody to be treated like an NCAA athlete. We're going to get our own locker rooms and name tags, and someone will do their laundry just like all the other sports teams here. So that's the one thing that I want them to feel like they're treated like they're special, like they're athletes here in a college institution, and that's the one thing that I will bring. I'm also going to bring a lot of enthusiasm. I love my job. I'm very passionate about running and the sport of track and field, and every day I'll come to work and I'll bring that with me.
Come on, push up, people. Let's go.
This year is obviously a learning year for everybody, and the athletes that we have, they're getting to know me and getting to know my system, and obviously I've got to learn an awful lot as well. Everybody is so busy with all the different schedules that are here, so I've learned to be a lot more flexible. But what I really want to do is I would like to create a strong, nationally recognized cross-country and track and field program using a lot of the great student athletes that we have from this area, and I think that we can do it. I think there are a lot of athletes around, and this is a great school, and I think once we get them in and they see that they will be coached, that things are going to take off.
The track teams aren't the only spring sports that are getting ready for another season. Both baseball and softball teams have begun preparing for a new year. Last year, the baseball team finished 17-21, winning 5 of their last 6 PAC games, qualifying them for the PAC tournament. The boys would eventually be knocked out, however, by eventual champs Washington and Jefferson. The softball team, on the other hand, finished with a record of 21-15, including a PAC best 11-1. The Lady Titans also made their 4th appearance in the PAC tournament in 7 years, and were the top seed before being upset in 2 games. And finally, we see the end to an era as construction on Harold Berry Stadium is underway. The $1.7 million renovation has begun with construction crews digging up the old field in preparation for artificial turf. The renovations also include lighting for the stadium. And that will do it for Titantown Sports this week. Stay tuned, more County Line is on the way.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
The Lawrence County Humane Society believes in the safety of spaying and neutering your animals. Spaying and neutering can have many long-term benefits.
We at the Lawrence County Humane Society believe that all animals should be spayed or neutered. Many reasons why, but the biggest reason is that they will be a happier, healthier pet. Also, it alleviates the overpopulation problem.
Getting your animals spayed and neutered is one huge step in making sure that more animals are healthy and find loving homes.
I'm open! Shoot it, Cassie! Shoot it!
There's a better way to have fun with history.
It's okay, Amelia.
Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
On 3. 1.
Yes!
Well, it will be a bittersweet farewell for President Williamson as he will be set to retire at the end of this spring semester.
That's right. We talked with President Williamson earlier this week, and this is what he had to say about leaving the college.
We knew the type of institution that Westminster was and is, but I have to say that the greatest asset here are the people, faculty, staff, trustees, students, and each of those constituencies has shaped us in terms of the friendships that we've made that will be lifelong. We take those with us as we head off to Williamsburg, Virginia this June, and those are the shapers, if you will, that never go away.
Right. I read that your mantra for Westminster is get better, not bigger. How do you personally feel Westminster can get bigger, or better, as you leave here and a new president is welcomed into this community?
Good question. I think that in order to get better in a lot of different ways, it's critical that Westminster continually put emphasis on raising its endowment. As a private institution, that's all we have really to fall back on. In order to get better in almost any way that one thinks of, in order to the challenge is to raise endowment per student. And to get up to that next level where we can sustain some of the gains we've made. So while we've been able to cross the $100 million mark in endowment, we really have to go now to $200 million in order to sustain those gains. And as I said, that affects physical plant, it affects faculty and staff, it affects programs, and it affects, most importantly, financial aid for students so that students can continue to afford what we offer here.
Playing the slots should pay off for homeowners in the area this year, as gaming proceeds will be used to provide property tax relief. Lawrence County State Representative Jarrett Gibbons hopes the slot funding rebates are just the beginning of property tax relief, as the State House will continue next week with additional property tax reduction proposals. Gibbons recommends that families from Lawrence and Mercer counties sign up for property tax breaks through their county's assessment offices.
The spring semester may have just begun for students. However, Senator Bob Robbins is already encouraging college students in Lawrence and Mercer counties to secure summer jobs with the government. The deadline to apply for these jobs with PennDOT is approaching. Applicants must be at least 18 years of age and enrolled in college. Full-time positions will pay $10.99 an hour. Students can apply online at Senator Robbins' website.
That's all we have for this week. It's the County Line. Make sure to stay tuned in next Thursday as we introduce you to an ancient mummy living right here on campus.
And reporter Jeremiah Patterson will introduce you to someone a bit younger who the Wilmington track team calls Coach.
And as always, Dave Gregg will be back with more action from Titantown Sports.
Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good night.
Finally, agreeable to the provision of the Constitution, the ayes and nays will now be taken. The members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk record the vote on the question. The ayes are 199, the nays are 0. A majority of the members required by the Constitution having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes finally. The clerk will present the same to the Senate with the information the House has passed the bill. The chair turns to page 3 of today's House calendar. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Philadelphia County, Representative Thomas, who calls up House Bill 1199, printers number 3239, which the clerk will read.
This bill provides for definitions for the State Board of Physical Therapy.
Will the House agree to the bill? Agreed to. This bill has been considered on 3 different days and agreed to. Is not on final passage. The clerk will read the title and a brief description of the bill.
This bill provides for definitions for the State Board of Physical Therapy.
The question is, shall the bill pass finally? Agreeable to the provision of the Constitution, the ayes and nays will now be taken. The members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote. On the question, the ayes are 199, the nays are 0. The majority of the members required by the Constitution having voted in the affirmative, the bill passes finally. The clerk will present the same to the Senate with information the House has passed the bill. The chair turns to page 4 of today's House calendar. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Delaware County, Representative Kirkland, who calls up House Resolution 383, printers number 2405, which the clerk will read.
A resolution recognizing that more than 160 million people in India are considered untouchable and dehumanized by the caste system.
Members will please take their seats. Members will please take their seats. Will the House adopt the resolution? The chair recognizes Representative Kirkland.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just real briefly, Mr. Speaker, I just want to thank the members of the House for their support in this resolution. This resolution simply, Mr. Speaker, recognizes the plight of Indian people who have been considered less than human for far too long. And I thank the body and the members of this House for their support on this historic resolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Will the House adopt the resolution? On the question, those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Clerk record the vote on the question. The ayes are 199, the nays are 0. Majority of the members having voted in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. The chair turns to page 4 of today's House calendar. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Clinton County, Representative Hanna, who calls up House Resolution 416, printers number 2535, which the clerk will read.
A resolution urging the Congress of the United States to enact legislation that would allow municipalities to contribute in-kind services as part of their cost share under federal grant programs.
Will the House adopt the resolution? On the question, those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? Clerk record the vote. On the question, the ayes are 199, the nays are 0. Majority of the members having voted in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. Chair turns to page 1, supplemental calendar A. Chair recognizes the gentleman, Representative Baker, who calls up House Resolution 620, printers number 3314, which the clerk will read.
A resolution recognizing March 2008 as Women's History Month in Pennsylvania.
Will the House adopt the resolution? On the question, those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Clerk record the vote. On the question, the ayes are 199, the nays are 0. The majority of the members having voted in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. The chair turns to page 1 of supplemental calendar A. The chair recognizes the gentleman, Representative Harkins, who calls up House Resolution 624, printers number 3320, which the clerk will read.
A resolution observing the week of March 9th through 16th, 2008 as Problem Gambling Awareness Week in Pennsylvania.
Will the House adopt the resolution? On the question, those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? Clerk will record the vote. On the question, the ayes are 199, the nays are 0. Majority of the members having voted in the affirmative, The resolution is adopted. The chair turns to page 1 of supplemental calendar A. The chair recognizes Representative Haluska, who calls up House Resolution 626, printers number 3328, which the clerk will read.
A resolution recognizing the month of April 2008 as Outdoor Heritage Month in Pennsylvania Alleghenies.
Will the House adopt the resolution? On the question, those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? Clerk will record the vote. On the question, the ayes are 199, the nays are 0. Majority of the members having voted in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. The chair turns to page 6 of today's House calendar. The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Allegheny County, Representative Bennington, who calls up House Resolution 589, printers number 3205, which the clerk will read.
A resolution designating March 2008 as Professional Social Work Month in Pennsylvania.
Will the House adopt the resolution? On the question, those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted?